What's up? I'm Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown, all published by Simon & Schuster Saga Press. Today I'm going to be reviewing Ruin and Wrath, books 3 and 4 in John Gwynne's The Faithful and the Fallen series. I reviewed these first two books about a month ago. We're reviewing the last two books now. And why am I reviewing these books? Well, because my fantasy series on all of Goodreads, Amazon, everybody that's read both my books and John Gwynne's books say that my books and his books, they're almost like twin brothers. You know, they compare, like everybody compares my series to his, everybody compares his series to mine. So I thought, why not, I have not read these, why not get them and read them? So I read the first two about a month ago, reviewed them on my channel. I will link to that review, so if you want to read it. Now I have finished up the series, because, let me tell you, all the reviewers are right. I have to admit, that our fantasy series are a lot alike. But then again, you know, there's a lot of fantasy series out there that are similar. But the similarities between The Faithful and the Fallen and my series, The Five Warrior Angels, is quite frankly bizarre. You know, if you watch my other video where I review these first two books, his series starts out a lot like my series, with prophecies, chosen ones, like I said. Most fantasies start out with these things, all right? Small village, farm boy, chosen one, prophecy. Yes. Both of us are guilty of that. But it's kind of like we both did it in a similar way. And I won't get into a lot of that because you can go watch the other review I did. I wanted to see, since his first two books were very similar to my first two books, I wanted to see if his last two books wrap up the same as mine do. Now, my last books haven't been published yet. I've only got two out. The Lonesome Crown is coming soon. But I want to see if he ends. We started our series almost the same, you know. And you can watch that other review to get the details of that. I won't rehash that here. Do we end our series the same? Well, gosh, yeah, I mean, yes and no. Yes and no. It's kind of like he's playing with a lot of the same themes I'm playing with about prophecy and chosen ones, and if the prophecies are just BS or manipulation by higher powers, or if they're real, if they're not real, I don't want to get into spoilers for either my series or his series, and I don't think I really have by mentioning that, because we both tinker with that theme quite a bit, and we both layer in a ton of red herrings, and we both take it in surprising directions that I don't think the readers will be able to predict, even if they think they're predicting it. I mean, I saw some of the stuff that was coming, and then he did the old switcheroony on me, and then the double switcheroony, and, you know, and that's kind of the way I do it, all right? So, one of the things I love about reading a series so similar to mine, well, love and dislike, I mean, it's kind of like hey, there's some dude in England named John Gwynne who clearly has read all the same fantasy novels that I've read and pulled a lot of the same things together and created a similar type story that I have, and we've never met, we've never talked, we've grown up on opposite sides of the planet, and yet here we are writing similar things, because our influences have been the same, I think. I think he's been influenced heavily. I can tell he's been influenced heavily by Lord of the Rings, David Gemmell, I would say Bernard Cornwell, I would say possibly some Wheel of Time, and most certainly Game of Thrones. Those would be the ones that I would say, just based off what I'm reading and the way he's constructed his stories. I think there's a lot of Bernard Cornwell in sort of the way he writes. You know, and I think that I write kind of like that, but more wordy. My books are way more wordy, and I mentioned that in the review of these other books. My books are way more wordy. The ending of this book and the ending of my series, yes, there are going to be some similarities and some differences. I will tell you, I am much more rated R. He's got some great battle scenes at the end of this, as do I at the end of mine, and I'm telling you, I think that the blood and guts in his series would probably fill a barrel. The blood and guts in my series ending would fill, several swimming pools in comparison, just because of the rated R nature in which I write, and about the PG kind of 13 nature that he writes. And that's just the way it is, I'm a little bit more R-rated. And one of the other things that I like about this series is his naming conventions. There's very few. There's like the third of the authors that do fantasy really do name their characters correctly in the way I like, and John Gwynne is one of them. I love the character names. I think they are all unique. I think they all match the character. I think when you read it, when you initially see it on the page, you immediately know who we're talking about. After the 4 books, obviously, but just getting going. I mean, I love the character naming. I love so let me just mention some of my favorite characters. I love Corbin. I love his sister Tywin. I love Brenna. I love Gar. They're from the original village in the books, and I will not tell you which ones live or die throughout the series. I love the bad guys too. I mean, I love Nathier. He's kind of a good guy. I love the bad guys. I love JL. I love Rafe. One of the similarities in between us is we kind of set up our villains a little bit the same way. I mean, we kind of have these just sort of a-hole bullies in the story, interwoven through the stories. They're not really part of the bad guy crew. They're just kind of jackasses. They're just kind of dudes that you don't like. They're just kind of the guy that in high school that's always picking on people, that just is just a jerk. And Rafe is a great bully. And I've got some great bullies in my book too, and John Gwynne has put some great bullies in his. And that's another thing Bernard Cornwell kind of does in his series too. That's why I think this guy's inspired a lot by Cornwell. Although I'm not sure. Maybe he's never read a book at all. Maybe he reads Con Eggleton. Maybe he reads John Jakes or Ken Follett or something. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't read anything. I don't know. I'm sure he does. He has to have. If you've watched my previous video in this, I really liked the way he ended this. In fact, I super liked the way he ended book 3. No spoilers, but I just loved it. I loved the way he there was sort of some reveals. There was sort of some big, like, epic, finally some mysteries have been revealed to us, but you're still kind of going, I don't know if I believe that, because there's a whole nother book coming up, and he fools with us a little bit. And I kind of do the same thing. Like I said, I specifically and only read these books to see if they were what people said. All the reviewers said, hey, if you love the 5 warrior angels, you're going to love the faithful and the fallen, because they remind me of each other. If you love the faithful and the fallen, you're going to love 5 warrior angels. They're similar. Yeah, they are. They straight up are. I can't deny it. Cannot deny it. Peas in a pod. Peas in, like we go together like peas and carrots. If you like this, there's no reason why you can't like this. If you like this, there's no reason you can't like this. In fact, the first person that ever came up to me and said, hey, your series reminds me of John Gwynne, was a kid at the Salt Lake City Comic-Con. just some dude, some random dude. Hey, I bought your book from the Barnes & Noble and I've read The Faithful and the Fallen, and I was like, oh my gosh, The Faithful and the Fallen is my favorite series of all time. And now I've got a second favorite series of all time because it was like similar. That's the only reason I picked these up. Just to compare notes, see how close we were, and by God, we're pretty damn close. I can't deny it. Can't deny it. You know, the overall series, I give the overall series like, gosh, I think it's solid throughout. It's just solid throughout. It's like, there's not a weak part in it, really. I mean, it is what it is. It's just, it goes and goes and goes and goes, and the characters, not all of them live. It just goes and goes, and I think it's awesome. He's got dogs. Well, he calls them wolven. I call them dogs. There's a lot of dog characters in my books. There's a lot of dog characters in his books. Don't kill the dogs, folks. Don't kill the dogs. I mean, you can't kill the dogs. I'm not saying if either of us kill the dogs, but you just can't kill the dogs. People are not going to like you if you kill the dogs. Anyway, I give the whole series, a fantastic thumbs up. I just think they're great. I think that they are great. I mean, how can I not say that if everybody says that we're so similar, they have to be great. And they were. I really liked them. 2 thumbs up, No thumbs sideways, no thumbs down. They're two thumbs up. 2 thumbs up for the entire Faithful and the Fallen series. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. So anyway, if you've read mine, go get these. You'll like them. If you've read these, go get mine. You'll like it. If you haven't read either, what the hell's your problem?